Angels and angles, praying and praying. I don't know how many scores of ideas pop into my brain during my 90-minute daily bike ride, but the one that insisted on percolating in and around the folds of my gray matter on November 6th dealt with those who pray and pray in Palestine and Israel, the indiscriminate hatred by some for all people Palestinian, and likewise those who know that not only is Israel the great Satan, but so too is every Jew on every continent of our planet. There are those who know that the only good Muslim/Jew is a dead one, and that those people are at fault and deserve to die. It is the depressingly large ranks of folk who know those people deserve to die who have again become more vocal and more active in voicing their feelings. Surely we can't dignify this hatred with the word thoughts, as shown by the precipitous rise in Islamophobia, equating Hamas's atrocities with all Palestinians, as well as antisemitism that shouts its hatred through threats and violence against Jews in the USA and around the world. As a result of Hamas's barbaric slaughter of Israelis on October 7th, the Israeli Defense Forces' military response has killed thousands of Palestinians living in Gaza, many of whom are very young children. Concurrently, Israeli citizens are attacking unarmed Palestinian citizens who are unassociated with the genocide, attacking them for the crime of being Palestinian, a horror that occurs alongside the loss of IDF fighters who are defending their country utilizing the means and methods that they are ordered to use by their commanders. We have atrocity on top of atrocity, and far too often the slaughter is accompanied by an explicit or implied statement that my side is holy while yours is wholly evil. While the Hamas attack and Israel's military response within the Fertile Crescent provided my brain with the morbid theme of my ride, the actual idea of learning to stop thinking in binary is what I fixated upon. A hope that perhaps the inhumane slaughter of children by both sides might somehow sow a seed in those of us outside the conflict. A seed concerning the abysmal failure of looking at people, ideas, or situations from a right, wrong, yes, no, true, false, binary perspective, and make obvious to billions that subtlety matters, that humans are never angels, and that looking at most situations from an all or nothing, my side's good, love it or eat lead perspective is juvenile at best and cataclysmic at worst. Hamas slaughtering unarmed Israelis under the guise of ending the apartheid that is Gaza is an atrocity. Attacking Jews simply for being Jews, whether literally, verbally, or through smear campaigns, under the pretext of righteousness because Israel is slaughtering Palestinians willy-nilly as they retaliate against Hamas and try to end the scourge the barbaric murderers present to Israel is also a morbid absurdity. It is a twisted logic from a twisted soul that attempts to justify war crimes because the other side is bad. Of course, this hatred is also visited on all things Islam, and there are those who attack Muslims whose only crimes are that they believe in Allah, and possibly that they live in occupied territory where they have few rights but endure many wrongs. Binary thinking is flawed, and declaring one side is our ongoing, never-ending Mideastern madness good and the other evil is a perfect example of why we must look at problems such as these from the far more subtle, difficult, and accurate perspective of a spectrum, rather than from Emperor Nero's thumbs up, thumbs down gladiatorial madness. We must embrace subtlety of thought and acknowledge that circumstances do matter, that a my country, right or wrong mentality is destructive. Nuanced thought and frequent rethinking should reign for most issues and must reign when we have multiple sides with multiple hamartia. It is myopic to idolize fatally flawed folk as omnipotent, beneficent gods, folk that far too many long to lift to their shoulders and carry through the streets as God's vessels when they, like the rest of us, are hellishly flawed, as far too often we overlook our own evil while decrying the evil in those against whom we battle.